In
So
Tahoe?
in Tahoe at the Edgewood, it's a really nice place. It was pretty crazy because I think Steph Curry a couple months ago, that's where he shot that eagle.
Shot that eagle?
Yeah, not like literally like shooting an eagle. He was playing golf.
I'm like, he shot a fucking eagle? Eagle's
No, no,
hunting?
no. He was playing. They do like the celebrity golf tournament up there,
Okay.
and they get sports people and
I seriously thought he shot an eagle.
no.
I'm like,
I mean,
isn't that
no,
illegal?
that would be something.
I'm like, how come I haven't seen it on my social media? Like,
No, man. I mean, that would be something, but no, he was playing golf out there and he shot a really good game.
okay, so what's an eagle?
Um,
Like,
I honestly, I don't know. So for me,
it's just something cool to say.
yeah, I just know that was the last like major thing that I
Uh-huh.
know about that place, like the most relevant thing in the news that I related it to, because it was such a big deal, like in the sports world. I don't play a lot of golf. I'm horrible at golf. Yeah, I need to work on my golf game.
Golf sucks.
It's a tough game, man. I mean, I grew up playing sports, so I still have to work at it, I
Yeah.
guess you could say. It's just not natural for me versus other things are more natural for me physically.
I wish you could play golf like Adam Sandler, like Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like that I'm down with, man. Just swing at the fucking thing, but
Welcome back. Welcome back. This week, Jacob Cuevas joins us on the podcast. It's probably one of the funniest times that I've had interviewing someone. Jacob is a really good friend, so he let me be myself. All the wrong humor you can think about, all the inappropriate jokes certainly came out of me. But we hope you enjoy it and join us on the next one. In the meantime, keep swinging. We appreciate you. And enjoy the episode. Take care.
all right, motherfucking Jacob.
Alright, man. This is a good spot, man.
However you like, my dear.
No,
Whichever
man.
side.
It's up to you.
No. I'm good. I'm good either side. I'm handsome from both sides.
There you go. Just gotta make it not look fat, right?
Huh?
Just gotta make it not look fat.
Like, hold your breath the whole time. Ah, fuck, dude.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Oh man, me too.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude.
I like that shirt.
Thanks, man.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
Your shoes are nice and polished, too.
You know what? Actually, man, I've actually had these for like 3 or 4 years, and I've never touched them.
Really?
Yeah, I only have to get them done like every 5 years, and then they're retreadable. So you
Whoops.
just take off the bottom, and then you just get a new one on there and stuff. But it's been traveling a lot, man. Right now, like just
Put your mic.
okay, like right there,
Like, closer to your face.
right there.
Closer.
Oh, dude, that's so close.
Like, right there.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you can put
Alright.
it further.
No, whatever, man. But yeah, man.
I
Just
mean, you don't have a soft voice. You have a manly voice.
I hope so.
I'm just going to throw all this shit out of my pocket.
I hope so, man. But
You've
Yeah,
been
man.
traveling?
yeah, man, just been traveling for work, dude. Well, it's my business. I mean, just got back from Tahoe. So I was up there. We got invited. PNC Bank, they throw a Partners in Aviation event at Lake Tahoe at the Edgewood. So we were out there. They had a couple economists out there, their team. Then a couple other people in aviation companies, people that represent companies and vice versa. So we were out there doing some networking. It was really good. It was just a lot, man. You know, when you're traveling and then you're having to like have kind of like fruitful conversations, just takes a lot out of you. You know, just mentally. You just
So it's like the Catalina wine mixer, but except for aviation?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
big time, man, big time.
Like, it's an event that they had, or?
Yeah, basically what it is they get people from the private aviation industry together, and then what we do is we basically give them insights. They tell us about their products. Same thing like in finance, right? You know, it's a bank, you know, stuff like that. So
Kind of like a seminar conference type thing.
yeah, but more tight niche.
Oh,
So
okay.
like they only want like leadership and people that are within certain positions within the industry in order to come out. We, you know, private aviation in and of itself is really small. So we're like a fourth niche down. You have aerospace, aviation, you know, private aviation, right? So it's like one, two, three. So it gets a little bit tricky, you know what I
And
mean?
private aviation meaning like a small airport or a small airline company or like what
hmm
is it?
So private aviation, the best way to define it is people and companies that own their own aircraft for personal use, business use. That's the best way I can describe it. So it's private. So for example, if you had an aircraft and you bought it and you're like, hey, I want to operate this thing. I want to go fly. I'm going to use it for business. I'm going to use it for personal use. That's what we consider private aviation.
And that's the field that you're
Yeah.
in right now.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Do you guys party?
Um, I, yeah, yes and no. I think that there's a fine line in our industry because um, what we do is extremely not extremely risky, right? But there's inherent risk that's involved with what we do, and with that, um, you know, you gotta understand, you know that I don't know how to say this. You can party, but you gotta, in my opinion, you gotta also hold yourself with a good amount of professionalism.
Yeah.
Because if that, the last thing you want to do is when you work in such a private, in a niche industry, the last thing you want to do is have notions get out about yourself and
Mm.
about your reputation that you don't necessarily um, can't like fix, right? You know, you gotta be aware. You gotta know your room, you know, and I don't know if everybody gets that, but that's my motto. You know, but I'm oftentimes the youngest guy in the room.
Well, you're a pretty serious guy.
Yeah.
You know, you're not. I've known you for years, and you're just not like the party guy, anyways.
hmm
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and then again, it's also, um, it's like you don't want your reputation to precede you,
hmm
and unless it's a good reputation,
hmm
and then you decide to go to one of these meetings, the Catalina. It's not a Catalina wine mixer now. What is it called? Like aviation wine mixer?
Yeah, that's what we would call
How many
it.
days were you there for?
I was there for 2 days. Yeah.
In
So
Tahoe?
in Tahoe at the Edgewood. It's a really nice place. It was pretty crazy because I think Steph Curry a couple months ago, that's where he shot that eagle.
Shot that eagle?
Yeah, not like literally like shooting an eagle. He was playing golf.
I'm like, he shot a fucking eagle? Eagles
No, no,
hunting?
no. He was playing. They do like the celebrity golf tournament up there,
Okay.
and they get sports people and
I seriously thought he shot an eagle.
no.
I'm like,
I
isn't
mean,
that
no,
illegal?
that would be something.
I'm like, how come I haven't seen it on my social media? Like,
No, man. I mean, that would be something, but no, he was playing golf out there and he shot a really good game.
okay, so what's an eagle?
Um,
Like,
I honestly, I don't know. So for me,
it's just something cool to say.
yeah, I just know that was the last like major thing that I
Uh-huh.
know about that place, like the most relevant thing in the news that I related it to, because it was such a big deal, like in the sports world. I don't play a lot of golf. I'm horrible at golf. Yeah, I need to work on my golf game.
Golf sucks.
It's a tough game, man. I mean, I grew up playing sports, so I still have to work at it. I guess
Yeah.
you could say it's just not natural for me versus other things are more natural for me physically.
I wish you could play golf like Adam Sandler, like Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that I'm down with, man. Just swing at the fucking thing, but golf is a game where you it's like you hit it further
Uh-huh.
when you actually I mean you swing the stick right or the golf club right.
hmm
And it's not necessarily about strength. Obviously you need strength, but it's more
Yeah,
like technique.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's super frustrating,
hmm
especially if you're impatient,
hmm
you know, and then it's 18 holes.
Yeah, it can
You
be.
know, I think I've only done 18 holes or maybe not even 18 holes, but one time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to the driving range, I've gone to Top Golf, but golf is like, it's obviously an individual game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's on your own. You know, yes, you can play with people, but again, it's just you fuck up, it's on you. You
Yeah.
make it, it's on you.
Yeah, I definitely hear you in that. And I think that in golf in and of itself, I think that you can find like those things that you're good at and you enjoy. But in my opinion, to get like really, really good at it, like professionally amateur type of a thing,
Hmm.
in my opinion, from what I see, it's extremely demanding and it's extremely difficult. And like the consistency level, it's like from what I see that people that do that is like extremely high.
Plus, I don't fucking know if I can wear my boots out there on the. It's like,
Hey man, you never know.
I
mean,
go bowling with these, so
you
fuck
know,
it.
they might let you, man. You never know, man. Just roll out there and be like, hey, I thought this was
This was the get up.
yeah, no discrimination on
No,
the golf course.
Um, there's this podcast that I've seen. I think there's an Asian guy, there's a black guy, there's a white guy,
Mhm,
and then they have a guest and they talk about golf.
mhm,
Um, and they had George Lopez on once.
mhm.
I'm like, man, this is interesting. Like, and I think the white guy started like a clothing brand, like a clothing company.
Mhm.
It's a little bit like louder wear, like
Okay.
you know,
Mhm.
because like those I don't know, those soft feely fabrics that you know, like the polo shirts. To me, I'm just like, you look like a fucking nerd. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you wearing? And then you wear khakis and it's your shirt's tucked in and you got a belt on, and I'm like, you just look like a nerd. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't uh, style for me. It's again, obviously I could wear that. I've worn that plenty of times, but it's just not
Mhm.
my thing. Like,
How do you define your style? Like currently, like where you're at right now in your life. Like, do you have like a not like a look per se, but do you have like, hey, like this is me. This is what I like to wear.
I just don't like I just don't like um I don't know how else to say it. Just like nerdy looking clothing.
Okay.
You know, you look like a fucking nerd. Like, you know, I I wear weird shit all the time. I think
Mhm.
I've always worn weird shit. Like,
Mm.
I remember when I was your age.
Mhm.
You know, you're just like, what? You just turned 19?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No, but I've always liked style. I
Mm.
remember 8th grade. I think it was like an 8th grade dance. And again, the kids have like the white shirts, black slacks. You know,
Mhm.
it's traditional,
Mhm.
normal.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I remember wearing a gray shirt, a tie with little patterns on it, with a vest,
Mhm.
with slacks,
Mhm.
um, and just always wanting to be different.
Mm.
Like, nah, my shit's got to look dope. Or
Mhm.
when I see guys and sometimes like their coattails, I could see that they haven't cut the little part in the
Oh
back of the
yeah.
suit,
Yeah, yeah.
or you haven't cut the little things that are on like the suit part,
Mhm.
or the suit hangs like
Too far off the
too
hand, you
far
know.
off the handle,
Yeah,
or it's pinching in the back,
yeah. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
You know, so I know that's just me being anal,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't like that shit,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and then you can also wear like if when I would wear suits a lot, it's like I want a fucking tapered suit.
Yeah, of course.
I need
Of
a
course.
tapered suit.
Yeah.
I don't like big shirts,
Yeah.
you know, like over the top shirts.
Yeah.
But I've always been partial to wearing like pink
Yeah.
and purple
Yeah.
and bright ass colors. And I'll still wear them.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I'm wearing pink today.
I know. Look at
You know,
that right there.
yeah, it's almost fucking Halloween, man. So like I have the like right now the boots like they're shotgun right now. Obviously, I can wear them on the outside, but I think my style has always been shit stays connected.
Mhm.
I think my style's always been like attention seeking
Mhm.
and I've always liked the cowboy look,
Mm-hmm.
the rebel look,
Mm-hmm.
the biker look.
Yeah.
Um, there's sometimes when I see outfits, I'm like, fuck, that's a dope outfit. Like those fucking granddaddy sweaters.
I don't know what that is.
Granddaddy sweaters are those like heavy knit sweaters.
Okay.
Heavy knit sweaters, you know, like with the buttons.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I got you.
When I see them on guys, I'm like, damn, that shit looks dope.
Mhm.
When I put them on, I'm like, damn, I look fat. So I can appreciate someone's style, but then for me, it doesn't look good on me. Right now, you're very, if you weren't wearing those pants, it'd be very Ray Donovan-ish.
I don't know.
Ray Donovan.
I don't even know who that is.
So Ray Donovan, he's a fixer in Hollywood. So there's this famous dude who's hooking up with this chick in a hotel, and they're doing drugs. He's like let's say like the Johnny Depp of the show, and he's hooking up with the chick. She overdoses. She dies. So they call Ray Donovan. Come fix this shit. Figure out what to do with the body. So he helps fix the situation, but he also takes pictures and then he blackmails people.
Oh, I see.
So it's a show about that.
Use it about leverage.
Oh, 100%.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's on Showtime.
Okay.
I think it's, I mean, it's over now, but it has the guy that played Sabretooth, I forgot his name, but he plays Sabretooth, I think, in one of the Wolverine movies, like way, way back then. He's a really good actor. Angelina Jolie's his dad. It's a really, really, but it's this type of outfit. It's that type of shirt.
Yeah.
He always wears that type of shirt or a white collared shirt with a jacket and jeans.
Yeah.
And he wears, shoes just like that.
Yeah, jeans is kind of my MO.
Like, those are your like khaki jeans?
I don't actually, honestly, like this is only like one of my only khaki pair of pants I own. Is this one right here. I think the State Farm commercial kind of Jake from State Farm.
You've been dreaming about Jake?
Kind of ruined it for me. No. No, I just try to keep it casual, man. I think for me, it's, a lot of the settings I go into, you're dealing with people of high net worth. So I got to be ready for that. Typically on a moment's notice. You get the call, you got to be in West Side or wherever. So I try to kind of play the middle game. I don't mind looking younger. I don't mind dressing a little bit more casual, but keeping it professional at the same time. But no, I appreciate that with you. I mean, I think people should allow themselves to express themselves in what they wear. I think it's an important part because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's life is short and it's like, who says that there's rules to how you should dress? Now, granted,
I gotta find me a fucking skirt, bro.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm not fucking kidding, man.
Hey, man. I mean, we can get you a kilt.
There's this dude.
You can do it, man.
There's this dude that does transitions, like transition videos of his style on TikTok. Older gentleman. He's fit. Like he's like, man, that's fucking dope. And he'll wear a kilt.
Really?
Yeah, he'll wear a kilt, bright colored socks, certain shoes. And I remember seeing the fucking kilt and I'm like, oh, I'm down to fucking rock that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the boots or without the boots?
Preferably with some Louis Vuittons.
Oh, okay.
No, man, I don't think I'd wear the kilt, but I appreciate, like you said, like just people's styles. Like, oh, that's fucking dope, man. Like, that's you. Rock it. Like, makes you feel comfortable. And
I mean, back to Adam Sandler, he has a style. I mean, it's like gym shorts and a t-shirt.
It's a messy style that I wouldn't wear, but I'm like, go for it, dog.
Hey, man, but that's the point of it, right? You got to be able to do you.
But it's tough in your industry because it sounds more or less like how when I started, because I was young, and then how do I overcompensate?
Right.
And you overcompensate with your tone, like your tonality.
Yeah.
You don't joke as much.
Yeah.
So if you have a sense of humor, you dial that back.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to appear young. You don't want to appear sarcastic.
Right.
You start using bigger words. Right. So for me, it was like expanding my vocabulary.
Right.
Then it was parting my fucking hair. So no more frosted tips.
Yeah.
And looking like To me, when I look back, I felt uncomfortable. I felt
Mm,
extremely uncomfortable because
mm,
that wasn't me. I was trying to
mm,
be part of my career. I was trying to
mm,
make a career out of it. Um, and obviously wearing suits and again, it's overcompensating for
mm,
the lack of facial hair, the lack of
mhm,
experience, like trying to
mhm,
look the part.
mhm,
And someone asked me, Michelle Del Moro, she asked me maybe about a month ago. She said, "Hey, do you think you have more freedom with the way that you dress now
mhm,
in your industry because you're seasoned, like you've been in this industry for 20 plus years?"
mhm,
And I never thought about that, but I said, "Yeah, you know what? That's a true statement."
mhm,
Because if I was just starting out in real estate, if I was just starting out, um, it's almost like, okay, well, what's the uniform for that industry? And the
mhm,
uniform is you want to be suited. Now, I'm not going to walk into an appointment with one of your high net worth clients
mhm,
and help them with financing walking in like this.
mhm,
It's just not going to happen because,
mhm.
again, it's knowing your audience.
Yeah, you know,
And
you're
so
right.
my audience for someone like that is different unless it's a high net worth individual that owns a bunch of tattoo shops,
Yeah,
right? Or
yeah.
owns a clothing company, because I've worked with people that own clothing companies that are fashion designers,
Mhm,
and I walk in a suit, they're dressed like this. Now
mhm.
I'm the one that's a little too distant from them
Yeah,
versus the relatability. And so
yeah,
it definitely knowing your audience matters.
yeah. And to further your point, I mean, I think, when you do get into industries that are outside the norm that have a certain dress code, right? Um, I think we associate that if I dress a certain way, to your point, there's a higher likeliness of achievement, right? In the sense of like perceived likelihood of achievement. If I dress this way, they're going to perceive me as this way, even though I might feel like I don't have all of the tools or the experience necessary to do that. And I think in that sense, you dilute the aspect of value. You dilute the aspect of learning, right? Because you're focusing on the wrong things. You're not focusing on learning. And to your point, when you are going into situations with clients, it's good to do your research. I don't necessarily think you need to get into like the super granular stuff, right? But you should know who they are, and how they function and what makes them who they are. It just gives you a little bit more personality, because you can kind of go into there and have maybe more fruitful conversations. Doesn't again, if you've never met them before, they're gonna be a stranger at the end of the day. But if you know a couple of things about them and you're like, hey, I enjoy this too, if you would have never researched that, you might have never ever made that correlation. And that could be a thing in and of itself where you don't actually, you know, you don't capitalize on that opportunity. So it's just those small things, man.
It's like Hitch,
Yeah, a little
honestly.
bit. Yeah, a little bit.
So I was watching a little clip about Hitch where he says, well, he's talking to Eva Longoria and he tells her, well, a lot of guys don't know how to speak to women,
Mm,
something along the lines.
mm,
And a lot of guys want to be prepared,
mm-hmm,
right,
mm-hmm.
for a situation. So
Yeah.
if a guy knows what type of wine a girl
Mm-hmm,
likes and he
mm-hmm.
orders it, it's like, and it's her favorite wine.
Yeah, sure.
So if you know a client and you know something about them,
Mm-hmm,
maybe on a more personal level,
mm-hmm.
it can break barriers. And it's not
Absolutely.
you're not doing it maliciously.
Mm-mm.
It's like, no, I genuinely want to earn your business. I
Mm-hmm,
genuinely want this to go in the right direction.
mm-hmm,
And then you research them
mm-hmm,
and then you're able to go down that rabbit hole of more valuable and important conversations rather than just the business itself.
mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree
Yeah,
on
and
that
and
side.
I think also too, I mean, like when it comes to guys, I think we do the same thing in business, technical guys, more analytical thinkers and logical thinkers, they have conversations like they're already married versus having conversations of, hey, you're just dating. So it's just really getting to know each other. I think people translate that in business as well because you don't always you don't always fully know the other person. You might have this assumption. You're like if I never met you before and we were just doing this and we met each other for the first time, be like, I wouldn't know what to ask you.
You'd be like, what the fuck is he wearing?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but like one of my first questions would be is like, well, how do you do, finance, what does that look like? And this being your office, I wouldn't anticipate that. So it's that stuff. But see, if I did a little profile on you and I did a little bit of digging, I would be like, oh no, he's into this stuff. So I would kind of come in prepared of like, oh, I wonder what style of painting he likes. This is not necessarily abstract. It's more like colorful, playful. So it must be a representation of his personality. So I can go into that conversation. He's going to be a little bit more personable. He's going to be a little more friendly, probably a little more fun, rather than somebody that has like super abstract, paintings on the wall and be like
It's
all
just,
intense.
it's intentional.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's having intention
Yeah.
behind conversations. And that's the thing about, let's say, part of what I do. I have a very, very serious job.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Very serious. And I spoke with the client 2 days ago. She's like, dude, it's so funny to see you on social media
Mm-hmm.
and then to know you personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because personally, you're a certain way. The conversations that we have, and I don't, because of that overcompensation, I lack the jokes with a lot of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fucking joking around with my clients. I'm not dropping, F-bombs.
Mhm.
It's very serious, and I've been told it's very monotone, right? Like it's very like an engineer type conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I fix that? Well, I fix that with relatability,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, this person is not an analytical person. I have to be more talking about family, friends, and feelings. And that's like knowing people's personalities. But many times it's like, damn, dude, you're just very, very serious. But then they see my social media and they're like, they know I'm not serious.
Mhm.
So it's finding that, I think it's finding that bridge and also letting go of the kid that I once was, where that overcompensation, I've carried it for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So like in your side, you're a funny guy. You have a great fucking sense of humor.
Thank you.
You do, man. You're fucking hilarious. Because I say a lot of off-colored shit.
Yeah.
And since I've met you, you're just like, fuck, man. You just laugh about it.
I do.
But you also don't jump into the pool with me, like to like get dirty. You're just like, no, I'm not taking my bikini off, George. But that's what I appreciate, because you can have fun with me.
Yeah.
We can have a good time.
Yeah.
And you just fucking laugh.
Dude, I love humor, and I think that, I don't know, like, because again, we all have our own individual sense of humor, but just laughing with a person, if they find something funny and you find it humorous too, that's the best thing to do, because again, that's the part of the connection with people. It's like we've had a couple of times in the office where it's just been too much, but
You cold?
no, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
okay.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm just, dude, it's still a little bit early.
Yeah, I know it's early.
But no, man, it's I love it though. I really, really do it. I love enjoying people's humor, enjoy people's laughing. I mean, that's part of life, man. You're gonna remember those times more than like the middle, just random conversations. I remember times laughing with you more than I do little, like, hey, what were you talking about?
Yeah.
X amount of years ago, in this deal. It's like, I don't know, like
It's just not everybody has an open sense of humor,
mm-hmm.
right? So I love comedy. I love stand-up comedians, and people are more sensitive nowadays, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And so I just went to watch a comedian with Diego at the Brea Improv. Yeah, it was Brea Improv. And they were talking shit. Bro, well, check this out. So they always, a lot of times they always call me out of my hat. Like I get picked on, right?
Yeah.
They call me out of my mustache.
Yeah.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
A guy that's like loud as fuck with what he's wearing.
Yeah.
And so the comedian came up and he called me something. I didn't hear the first part, but it was like gay ass hat.
Oh.
You know, like this guy with his gay ass hat. And then I started busting up laughing. But the other said, yeah, he called you like this Johnny Depp guy with his gay ass hat. You know, and to me it's funny.
Yeah.
But I talked about it on TikTok, and I was saying, yeah, so this comedian called me, you know, this and that, and then immediate restricted account.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't talk about that. I'm like, wait, I'm not insulting anybody.
Yeah, you're just stating
I'm
what
just
happened to you.
stating what happened to me.
Right.
I'm not offended by it.
Right.
So who is it offending that I was the butt of the joke? But it happens a lot. The hat, as they've called me some other singer, I forgot his name. But little things like that, it's like, man, it sucks that sometimes, first of all, people can't laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
And then it's a joke.
Right.
It's what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. People take that stuff way too seriously nowadays. I mean, one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up is Heavyweights with Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Do you remember that movie?
Which one? Describe it.
So basically, it's actually a Disney movie, and
What?
it's one of my favorite movies.
Heavyweights.
Yeah, it's basically around the premise is around these kids go to this fat camp with the intention to lose weight. However, the original owners never really made him lose weight. And then Ben Stiller is like this workout guy. Exactly. Buys the gym. I mean, buys the camp and then forces them to now go through the process of losing weight. It's a little bit of an obscure movie, but half the stuff they put in that, they can never write that nowadays. I mean, they would be like picketing and rioting and stuff like that. And that's kind of, again, part of the aspect, because it actually speaks a little bit to them, because it's like, hey, like people actually do have these issues, but at the end of the day, you're just working through things, you know, and it's okay to laugh at yourself. You know, there are things about me that people laugh at me, like, you call me a nerd. It's like, okay, that's fine,
fucking
George.
nerd.
Yeah. But see, like, yeah, I mean, there are parts that are extremely nerdy about me. You know, I love Star Wars. I love Lord of the Rings. I love Harry Potter. So it's like,
out of you said Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Out of those three, which one?
That's tough. It's a tough one for me between Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. I love the storyline of Lord of the Rings. There's actually a lot of nuances into it that are very complex, and I think it does represent us in this fantasy land, but a very much a story of humanity. And I think it's very common things that people have dealt with or still dealing with in just overall, that premise of rulership, and people trying to use certain things against one another, and then what that looks like, and then you have, hero narratives within all that stuff. So I think it's going to be more Lord of the Rings for me.
Precious.
Yeah, it's just my jam. But there's very much those aspects that are very nerdy about me.
I love all those three movies, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they're fucking dope. And then again, if you start watching, so for example, like Star Wars, there's so many things that you can watch about Star Wars.
Now there is. Yeah.
There's Ahsoka, like right now. I haven't started seeing it. I don't like watching shows that are currently streaming.
Okay, you just want to go through it all at once.
I want to binge. Yeah. Because otherwise I'll watch an episode and then I'll fucking forget what happened last week. And that means I got to watch 2 episodes. And then I want to watch the next one, which it's like, fuck, I can't watch it. It's like, no. So once it's done, that's when I'll watch it. But like Mandalorian, or I watch the Star Wars cartoons, all the cartoons. And it's interesting because they're all done at such a great level, and so like Lord of the Rings, obviously there's like the series, and then there's like what is it, like the prequel, right? There's like but there isn't that many side stories. It's just, it is what it is, and then it's done. So I'm left with wanting more. And then the last one is Harry Potter. That one had those like magical beast one, like okay, but they
Pretty
just
cool.
don't give me enough. Like I want more. I want it every day. I want it over and over and over. Where's my Blue Chew? Let's watch another Star Wars. And so I would have to say, for me, it would be Star Wars, because I get more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that they did that with all the intentionality, behind that aspect of it. And know that there was always those storylines that they could expand upon. And it's really cool to see them do that. I saw the original Star Wars movies when I was a kid in the 90s, right? And I never thought that they would actually get there, especially when they did, one, two, three. You're like, okay, this is maybe going to be it for a while. They never had an inclination, and it was like 15 years until they said, hey, we might do another movie, right? And then now it started to blow up into what we have now. But no, it's a great storylines, and I've always liked the visual aspect of Star Wars and the idea of being able to travel through space and define things that way, and it's extremely fascinating. Yeah, and it's super cool, man. So
Yeah, I like them all though. I like them
yeah.
all. I like the magical side of Harry Potter, like all the magic stuff. I'm like, fuck, that's dope. And he's a little kid, and it's I like all those like fantastical tales. And then on Lord of the Rings, obviously to me, it's just like an epic movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't do a lot of epic movies, and I wish there was more of it. Right now, I mean, I like superhero movies, but sometimes there's just movies where, for example, like the Equalizer's coming out, the Equalizer 4.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm just like, I'm just gonna wait for that to fucking come home. Like, why would I go to watch that shit at the movie theater? I
Yeah.
appreciate and love Denzel as an actor. He's a fucking amazing actor. But okay, it's like John Wick. You're fighting this guy and you're gonna shoot that guy, and then bang, 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 and then bang, 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 bang. Like
Yeah.
there's like I don't even fucking know any of his lines. Like
He doesn't really, he doesn't really have many lines, to be honest with you.
it's action,
Yeah.
but there's no substance.
Yeah.
It's like visually like, okay, cool, he's shooting, okay, he shot that guy, he blew up that guy, like he killed 100 guys in like 10 seconds. Oh my god. But and it's not any better to fucking Schmeagle, like to the point where it's like but it has a lot more. Like it's kind of like watching the Witcher, like for Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that kind of.
yeah.
So I like that. But going back to the whole comedy stuff, man, it's it's tough because there's so much censorship, and I think companies allow themselves to be censored. Big companies versus like having someone in a boardroom meeting, and I mean I don't even know how those fucking meetings go, but man, shut the fuck up. That's what I would tell someone. Shut the fuck up. Like, we're not catering. Like, you know what? This is our creatives. If our creatives want to do this, let our creatives do it. If that's why to me, like this outlet, like the podcast stuff, the TikTok stuff.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get canceled when I'm not fucking making money from it?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
I'm doing it as an art piece. I'm doing it as a creative.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the conversations. I enjoy the filming, the editing, the lighting. I'm enjoying my process, and I'm putting out my content, my material. And if you don't like it, that's okay. It's not for everyone. People have like when they've come on, they're like, well, what are we going to talk about? What's the theme of your podcast? And what questions do you have?
I think I asked you that too.
It's like, no, man, that's not, I don't have an ulterior motive behind what I'm doing. I just want to have the freedom of expression to talk to friends, interesting people, interesting conversations.
Yeah.
And then just put it out. That's all it is. And so when sometimes like The Flash. Have you seen The Flash?
Not the newest movie yet. No,
okay.
I haven't.
But you've seen the character, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Ezra.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching The Flash. I
Mhm.
appreciate The Flash.
Mhm.
And The Flash is he's a smart guy. He's a
Mhm.
smart character, right?
Mhm.
He's a scientist.
Mhm.
He's a forensic, analyst. He's a
Mhm.
grown-ass man.
Mhm.
So, like, I grew up with this image of The Flash.
Mhm.
And what the fuck is Ezra? He's a scattered brain, effeminate, like, character.
Mhm.
And so I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't get it.
Mhm.
Who decided to like
Mhm.
break? Obviously it's an artistic break,
Mhm.
right? Because it has to be with the director, it has to be with the writer, it has to be with the actor themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking you're really going against the grain of what the Flash has always represented in the comics and what everybody grew up with.
Mhm.
Because he's always like, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, the Flash has never portrayed that. So I can appreciate the new take on it.
Yeah.
Cool. But that's not what I like.
Mhm.
And so some would say, and I would imagine, like, this is just my thought process, it's like they're trying to cater to the loud voices,
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
choosing that character, choosing him that way.
Mhm.
Why not keep something that's worked
Mhm.
for I don't know, many years. And
Mhm.
so I just wish those executives would not be focused on the money or the revenue, but obviously that's their business.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
fucking trying to cater, just let your
Yeah.
creatives be creatives.
Yeah.
And if they go in that direction, like
Mhm.
completely changing the Flash's character, okay,
Mhm.
cool. But when you can tell that it's a bunch of catering
With a note, with like a motive
with a
behind
motive
it.
behind it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, why? Who are you catering to?
Yeah. Oh
I mean, I know
man.
who they're catering to, but it fucking certainly ain't me.
That's tough, man. That's
It's
really,
tough,
really,
but for
it's tough.
them,
It's tough for them, and I think it's tough for the consumer nowadays. You know, I think whatever it is, that notion they're trying to push, ultimately they're trying to push a notion, right? And a push motive behind things, and I think people, if anything, are more lost in who they actually think that they are, and who they should be, and who they're aspiring to be nowadays than ever before. I didn't really, when we were growing up, we didn't really see that. Things are kind of what it was. And that's not a necessarily a bad thing of maybe what they're trying to accomplish is just the way that they're trying to do it. You
it's
know what I
it's
mean?
like
It's like you
now.
you take the artistic things and you're trying to spin it into these motives rather than, for example, to your point, letting them be an independent expression, right? And again, how many great movies out there that maybe went against the grain? Like you look at The Godfather, for example, great movie. You could never write that nowadays. There are elements in that movie where it's like, ooh, that's tough. You know what I mean? Conversations they had, but again, that's his expression of what the story he wanted to tell. Um, I
It's a
still,
fucking amazing movie.
it is a great movie. It's one of the best movies ever. And again, though, but like I think that is the damaging part of what we're doing to society with this whole motivation behind ulterior motives behind things is because everybody's trying to make it look like everybody else's stuff, but you don't exactly have your own voice. Emulation is one thing in and of itself, but when you can't think for yourself and develop your own ideas and develop your own voice, you're just regurgitating what everybody else has said. Then what makes you think you're any different? You're just basically saying what everybody, again, or what's already been said, and most of those thoughts aren't already new. They've been around for thousands of years when you really think about it.
It's when I watch a commercial now, I'm like, where the fuck? When the like, is this a United Nations auto commercial? Like the mom's black, the dad's white, the kid's Asian, like the gardener's like Muslim, and I'm just like, or Middle Eastern, and I'm thinking, okay, I get inclusion, I
Hmm.
get representation,
Yeah,
I get it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I never saw myself on the screen,
Sure.
like, quite often
I don't think
as a
you still
kid.
see yourself on the screen,
Yeah,
though. In all
yeah. What the
reality.
fuck? but it's over the top.
Yeah.
It could be, you know, a biracial family.
Yeah.
You know, fantastic.
Yeah.
But then it's like 5 different races in one commercial, and then the next commercial it's the same thing, and then the next commercial it's the same. It's like it feels like forced down your throat, even though I'm a minority, even though I see it. I just saw Blue Beetle.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it yet.
So I didn't want to watch it.
Okay.
Right? I was like, I don't want to watch it. And then I kept seeing commercials about it.
Sure.
And right now I'm watching Justice League, like the young version of the Justice League, and Blue Beetle's in it. And this guy's all speaking a little paisa. He's like, no, bro, look out. It's over there. I'm like, the fuck? Nah, ese. Like, seriously, in the cartoons, right? I'm like, all right, well, so let's see what the fuck's up with this fool. Fucking start throwing tacos at people and shit. And so then
you're like, I don't know what's coming out of his mouth.
Bro,
I don't know how you got here, man.
So, and then he has a like a Native American friend.
Okay.
Like, all right, fuck it, let's see where this goes. You know.
Yeah.
But then when I watched the movie, and you know, there's George Lopez in it. First of all, the aesthetics fucking suck. It looks like a WB show where like the colors are a little. There's a glow. There's this glow. You know,
soft. You know, type
very
of thing.
soft.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate that look. So regardless of storyline,
Reminds you of a 90s sitcom.
Yes. Regardless of the storyline, that aesthetic, it's not dark, it's not gritty, it's not Batman-ish, it's not The Flash. Even because The Flash has really, really cool color schemes and all that shit. But it has this soft glow about it, which I fucking hated from the very beginning. And then for I don't know, there's a sequence and it's like paisa music, cumbia music, paisa music, merengue. And I'm just like, and I'm thinking, again, like as an audience, right? Because I'm analyzing now the audience.
Yeah.
You know, there's white families here, there's black families, there's families that are not Hispanic.
Yeah.
Now it feels like Hispanic down the fucking throat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a little uncomfortable with that. And then the other part was like cliches where the family is super loud. Like, who the fuck? My family's not loud.
Here's mine.
You know, I'm Hispanic. Like, that's not my family. You're not representing me. It's almost like you're making fun. No, I mean, and I don't take offense to it. Like, not at all. But it's like, man, that's an annoying ass fucking family. They take him to his job or something. He goes to a job interview. And his entire family takes him. And his entire family is waiting out. Hey, que tengas buen día, güey. And they're fucking playing paisa music in the background. And si se puede, all this shit where he's not a superhero that happens to be Hispanic. It's a Hispanic, like, it's just Latino. And it makes me uncomfortable because, again, I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic. I was not even fucking born here. But I wanted to go watch a comic fucking book hero movie, like Namor, like the one in the Marvel comics. He's Namor, obviously. Namor is like a water god. I'm fucking that up completely, but he there's a lot of Aztec.
Like native, like Mexican Indian type of culture.
Yeah, and you know he's Hispanic. You fucking know he's Mexican.
Yeah.
But I think he may speak like Aztec or maybe some Spanish. I may be fucking that part up, but it's not over the top. It's ingrained in the culture.
Yeah.
Which a lot of us are. We've assimilated. You know, we have our Hispanic roots. We like the music, the food. Obviously, there's closeness that we have in our families, but the narrative behind Blue Beetle, it's like, this is this is so weird, man. This is so weird, but
Yeah, that's
I,
tough,
I
dude.
feel like watching it again to give it a shot, but I just felt like it was a trashy ass like KTLA, you know.
Just was not your vibe.
Nah, dude.
And
Like the graphics when he turns into the Blue Beetle and he does all that shit, I'm like, oh, that's dope.
yeah, yeah.
But it was way over the top. It just felt like again, like maybe like a Mexican company
Hmm.
made a superhero movie versus Hollywood made a superhero movie, and
Hmm.
he just so happened to have Mexican heritage or culture.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's tough, man. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I kind of got that just through the trailer.
Trailers. That's why I
Yeah,
don't.
and it kind of it spoke pretty loud in that aspect because I think there's a portrait they're trying to paint about Hispanic people, and I mean, I was born here, and I only lived in a Hispanic predominant community for a short period of time. I didn't really live in that environment. So a lot of people, like for me, um, they look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're Hispanic," or they think I'm some other like weird race or whatever.
What other races have you gotten?
Oh gosh, I'm French, Italian, Greek,
Oh
or something like
yeah.
that. Like they throw that at me all the time, man. I went to Israel one time and I thought I was gonna fit in. I still got like a sore thumb. Like
Really?
it was crazy, dude. People were just walking, just like staring at me. I would walk down the street and at a cafe and they would like literally just like stare at me like that, like who the heck are you? And I'm like, bro, like I'm just a human, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're like, no, like you're weird. And I'm like,
Yeah, you do
okay,
look
whatever.
French. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah,
It's that
yeah,
mustache.
yeah. Probably, man, probably. So, no, back to the point. I've personally, there are parts where it's like people that are born in other countries that are Hispanic, they make assumptions of me,
Mm.
like you're whitewashed, or you're coconut and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, sure, I don't even care what that means, but that if that's your assumption of me, that's fine. But then on the other side of things, there's other, races that think, oh, you're an Hispanic, you do X. And I'm like, no, like that's not even me either, man. Like how do you guys get there? And I think again, it goes back to like those individual cultures of things. It's like, yeah, I appreciate a lot of Hispanic things, and I understand my culture and understand my roots, but I also understand, I'm a person, at the end of the day, and there are things that make up me. It's not just my culture, it's not just my heritage, again, I appreciate those things, but, at the end of the day, there I always laugh about this, but most of the time there's not your culture really hasn't done that much for you.
Mm.
Like name me one thing that your culture has been like, because I'm X,
Yeah.
like I've received, this thing, it's like it's just what you're born into, you
It's
know. So,
by luck, and people. This is these are the type of conversations I wanted to be able to have on here
mhm,
because I think they're a little bit more nuanced,
yeah,
and I think I could totally be a dick about it because I am a dick about a lot of things,
go
and I
for it,
just want to
man.
be harsh.
Go for it.
No, but I've always told like I'm um I yeah, you could say I'm proud,
Uh-huh.
right, of my heritage, my culture, my being born in El Salvador.
Hmm.
But I also know that it's not by choice. It's by
Hmm.
fucking chance.
Yeah, exactly.
I was born in El Salvador
Hmm.
by chance.
Hmm.
You were born in the United States by chance.
Hmm.
It's not like I chose it, I submitted
Hmm.
an application, and I was born in the best fucking country in the world. It's like, no, it's by chance.
Yeah, yeah,
And, you're French by chance.
yeah,
Actually, you're French because of your mustache.
yeah.
Um, and so on TikTok for being about 2 or 3 years,
Uh-huh.
people would always ask me, "What's your nationality?
Oh
What's your
wow,
nationality?" Over and over. It's the most asked question on TikTok,
that's so weird.
dude. And I would never answer it,
Sure.
right? Not
Yeah.
because I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
No, it's because I don't want you to like me because of my
Mm,
nationality. Because
mm.
people on their TikTok profiles will have, their flags like right
Yeah.
below their name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just like there's a bunch of guys or girls on there that will say he, him, Yeah, he, him. And I'm like,
or the acronyms or
well,
whatever it is.
you are he, him.
Yeah.
You obviously look like a boy. You talk like a boy. Why the fuck do you need to tell me something that's so fucking blatantly obvious? And you're not part of that group, right? You're not part of someone who uses pronouns in that way. So why are you virtue calling?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, I get you.
So it's like if you're a female, you look like a female. It's like she, her. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But they were biologically female.
Mm-hmm.
They identify as a female.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you need to tell me you're a female? I would treat
Yeah.
you like a female.
Right.
So then when I see people with like Salvadorian flags or Mexican flags,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, you look Hispanic. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you could, obviously for me, I've gotten Persian, right? Like Middle
Oh, I
Eastern.
can see that.
Yeah.
I can see Israeli too.
Israeli,
Yeah.
Krav Maga.
Yeah.
So I've gotten those.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously doesn't offend me or anything. And I appreciate that someone could see like a different culture in me. I'm like, that's dope, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I never wanted to put my nationality out there for people to like me because of that. Like
Yeah.
as a crutch.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
like
know?
as a leverage point.
Yeah, or as a
like,
leverage
I
point.
want people to like me, so I'm gonna throw up my whatever flag, and I'm just gonna nuance myself, or I'm gonna silo myself to those people because they're my people. They get me.
No, and that's not who I wanted to be. So then I started, saying like, hey, like, man, my nationality is this, but it is over and over and over, and it's not like I'm not exaggerating. People would always say, "Damn, dude, why do people ask you so much about your nationality?"
That's wild.
And because maybe they want something to relate to, maybe something that they want to be. Oh, he's Salvadorian, just like me. Like, so for example, this shirt right that I'm wearing says "No jodas."
No jodas, yeah.
So "No jodas," you gotta if you. For me, obviously, it's Salvadorian. This is from La Bichita shop, so she sent me this shirt. She's Salvadorian, and I appreciate that culture. I'm fucking Salvadorian. I was born there. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't want to lean into my culture or my nationality just to squeeze something out of it.
Yeah.
I've always said it's like I want people to like me for me, not because of my fucking nationality.
Yeah.
My fucking nationality has nothing to do with it. Look at what I do good in the community, my personality, my family. Stop looking at where I was born. That's by accident. That's a part of me, but it's not who it's not me. You know, like I'm not fucking over here rocking like a 503 bandana. So anyways, man, yeah, that shit irritates me.
I mean, to that point as well, I mean, me and you aren't necessarily, I hate to say it this way, but we're not necessarily we don't fall in the norms of society, and stuff like that. It's like I've done stuff in my professional career, my personal life, because I don't like the norms. I want to be me. I want to be who I am, and to your point, you've done the same thing, and again, it's like, why does it really matter to people that much? People are people, like I always say this too, because I've traveled a decent amount. The last place I went to, I was on a mission trip to Kenya.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was there last November.
You on a mission?
Mission trip with my church.
Oh, okay. I was about
With my
to say.
church. Yeah. So like, we went over there. We volunteer. We partner with organizations that we're part of and stuff like that.
How come you didn't send me like selfies from Kenya, dude? I'm offended.
I got him. I honestly, well, you know what happened to me last year, man. And I went through some pretty hard times, lost my mom and everything. So it wasn't a very public time, for me. I didn't really post anything, and I'm private too, my social media.
You are.
I put stuff out that I feel like is meaningful for me, and I am artistic, and I love video, and I love pictures, and so composition in and of itself is an expression, just like how this is for you. But going to Kenya, and when you travel the world, it breaks down a lot of the assumptions you build up in your mind, because we live in a big country in like total like landmass and size, but as far as for like people, it's actually kind of small too, when you think about it. And at the same time, we have a perspective upon life and culture that is not the same that is found in the world. We live in the 1%, 1% in the way that the world lives. And um, when you go and you put yourself in a situation to where you have to serve people and you're trying to help them in any way you can, and I don't mean that like in a pretentious way, you know what I mean? But like you're trying to just, hey, like this is what you're going through, and we're here just to give you even just encouragement. You see what they have, you see what they're grateful for, and it starts to break down those things in your mind because you don't look at them as, oh, you're Kenyan, right? You can't. I mean, you could, but that would probably be a pretty horrible experience. But I look at it just like, no, this is just another human being trying to make it in life and what they feel they need to do. You don't go like, oh, I resonate with you because you're Kenyan, and for example, there was a black lady on our trip too, on our team, and she I had a couple interesting conversations, like because the trip was Hispanic, white, and one African American lady, and I was like, why aren't more African Americans coming to where they come from, stuff like that, and she's like, they just don't want to, they think that it's two different things, and it's like I get that, I understand where they're coming from, but I don't know, man, like that there's something to be had, in that. There's something to be understood in that. And at the end of the day, we're all humans, and even when you pull back away from that even a little bit more, it's like, we try to build up these things around us that go against one another. And, in 100 years, like we're all going to be gone. Right. And 100
Unless
years,
I become a vampire.
unless you become a vampire, and
Somebody bite my neck.
dude, I have a story about a freaking bat in Kenya. It was pretty wild.
Are you gonna have to tell me about that?
I will have to tell you. So, I've never seen a bat in like wild.
Uh-huh.
I've seen them flying, but never like just chilling. So we're at this.
Are they big, small?
They're pretty decent size, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's not like pigeon size, but it's not exactly like little bird size. It's kind of like right in that middle range. You're kind of like, whoa, like
You didn't
like
want to get fucking another like
no.
COVID-17?
No, bro. Like you don't. So I've never seen them like hang upside down and like nothing in between you. You see them at the zoo, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like, I'm good. But then like when you're out there, man, and they're just chilling right there. You're like, wow, like, huh. Like homeboy could just like come after me, and like I would have to defend him, defend myself, against.
Was
this
it a fruit bat or
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a bat expert, so.
I didn't say fruit bat.
Yeah.
across
He
his
did.
back.
He didn't have the T-shirt that says "I'm a fruit bat."
Hold on, you know what?
Yeah.
Take a leak.
Go for it, man.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man.
I have a little tiny little grow bladder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Are you like a 2 or 3 hour kind of?
I'm like an hour kind of.
Really?
Bro,
Wow.
so like this so far I've had coffee, so like an 8-ounce coffee. I've had a 16-ounce of Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
I've had 16-ounce water,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously this would be so like I'm constantly drinking fluids,
Mm-hmm.
especially water.
Yeah.
It's just water over and over. So I gotta go take a leak. I swear to God, I might have to wear some Depends. But even like on a road trip to Vegas, dude,
Well, that'd be tough.
I'm like,
You're like 2 hours, and you're like, bro, like I
I
gotta
gotta
pull over. I gotta
go.
go. Yeah.
So basically, I have to not drink anything if we're gonna go to Vegas. Like not
Mm.
drink anything for like a few hours.
Wow.
Yeah, like maybe 2 hours before.
Mm.
Because even if I have, it's funny if I'm leaving the house. I gotta be like, I gotta go take a leak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I gotta go take a leak, even if I don't have to take a leak. I gotta just go to the restroom, pretend to leak, or try to leak. I know George Lopez has a bit like, hey, go to the restroom, come on, because we're gonna leave.
Yeah.
You're not gonna ask to go to the restroom somewhere else. But every time as a kid, my dad would always tell us, in Salvadorian, My dad doesn't speak Spanish. He speaks Salvadorian. Because that's what we are, right? Vayan a orinar.
Ooh.
Go urinate.
Go urinate. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, vayan a orinar. Porque ya nos vamos a ir.
Uh-huh.
So it's that's fucking stuck in my mind, dude. Like, I gotta take a piss before we go.
He maybe scarred you a little
Yeah,
bit.
no, seriously, dude. I'm like, because but anyways, back to your so two things. Back to your bat story,
Mm-hmm.
and your mission trip out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was at my parents' house a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we were watching music videos. It sounds like we're watching music videos, and I always tell my mom, my grandmother's nickname was La Negra.
Okay.
La Negra.
Yeah.
And every time I see an older black woman,
Mm-hmm.
I feel emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when they wear glasses and they look very grandma-ish,
Mm-hmm.
because it reminds me of my grandmother.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
my grandmother was dark,
Yeah.
very dark skin.
Yeah.
And I like when I see like older, black women, and it sounds so weird, dude, but like I fall in love with them, like their essence, their being, they're sweet,
Mm-hmm.
like because I see my grandmother,
Yeah.
and so I appreciate that so much, um, like the older, like black woman,
Yeah.
and I just see love.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're usually a little bit more harsh with maybe their demeanor, with the
Mm-hmm.
shit that they say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my grandmother was.
Yeah.
And so like the lady came on TV. I'm like, hey, look, it's my grandmother. She goes, you always say that. Like, you always say that. It was a Tyler the Creator video.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's like some lady telling him like, hey, make sure you don't smoke in the set or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my mom's like, yeah, you're right. So the experience that I've had, like with other cultures, like, when I went to Etowanda, there's the Hispanic kids, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a small group of
Mm-hmm.
Hispanic kids,
Yeah, especially during your time too.
a small group.
Yeah.
It was a lot of white kids,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of black kids, some Samoans, some Asians.
Yeah.
And so it gave me an opportunity to like dive into those little cliques.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a lot of my friends that were, let's say, in Fontana and
Mhm.
Rialto,
Mm-hmm.
were predominantly Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say 80% Hispanic, 10% Black, maybe like 1% Asian.
Yeah.
So it was just, they would speak Spanish at school. They would talk
Mhm.
shit in Spanish at school.
Yeah.
Parties, like there was the culture of Hispanic was there versus me. I'm hanging out with the white boys that are the skaters,
Mm-hmm.
the white boys that are going to the beach, the
Mhm.
white boys that are playing football and are the jocks,
Yeah.
or even the black guys, like the star athletes and shit
Mhm.
like that, right? Or
Mhm.
the white boys that play water polo.
Yeah.
And then I had my friends, like my party friends, or like the close niche group that was like Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
but I got an opportunity to just kind of be
Mm-hmm.
in so many, like again, different cliques,
Mhm.
and to understand their culture, to appreciate their culture, to know more about them. And it's funny, my cousin Rafa, which I'll have him on here soon. Even as a kid, he would just always call me white boy. You
Mm.
fucking white boy. You fucking white boy. Because I wanted to pronounce my words right.
Ah.
I don't know, what's up, fool? You know what I mean? Like I say that, I say, what's up, fool? Obviously, but I also know that I need to be able to articulate myself properly.
Yeah.
So someone's from the streets, like I worked in South Central. I was out there for some time, and it's like, man, you're speaking from the streets. Like
Mhm.
your language has no different from a classroom to the streets. If you can't, Like, hey, have a conversation with your friends and have a certain language, and then have a conversation with a hiring manager, and you're still speaking a particular way.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, and so I always wanted to make sure that I spoke properly.
Yeah.
But then against friends, like I could fuck around and we can have our dialogue and dialects, you know, and shit like that. But yeah, dude, the older black women have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just again, it's weird because I just see my grandmother, and then the total opposite. My mom's super fucking white, like super fucking white.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, like the one that like he raised my mother. His background is, I want to say, like from Lebanon and Turkish, like. And they arrived in El Salvador many years ago.
You do have it. I was on it, man.
Well, this is the thing, though. He's not her father. He raised her.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's still, like, there's still bloodlines out there, though.
Oh, yeah. There's still bloodlines.
There's still bloodlines out there. So it could have been a possibility.
Maybe. But for him, it's, they used to call him El Chele. Chele, white, like white, chapudo. So like my grandfather's cheeks, and again, he's not my biological grandfather.
Yeah.
His cheeks just like super red cheeks, dude. Like red cheeks. And then my mom's, you know, father, her real biological dad, he was German. She never met him. So then you had like my really dark grandmother, like with the German, you know, a German, and so my mom ended up coming out super white, like him, just like pasty white, bro, like, and it's like I understand like where my background is, like, you know, as far as like I guess like bloodlines or whatever. I appreciate it. I love it. I'm proud of it. But it's not me. I am me. Right? My parents have helped me become me. My parents have helped me appreciate like all kinds of cultures. My dad won't fucking stop watching Asian movies. I'm
really?
not, bro.
Like the subtitles and everything?
Like full Asian movies.
Wow.
Full Asian shows.
With no subtitles or with subtitles?
With subtitles.
Okay.
He hasn't learned yet.
That's the next step, huh?
He's like, Batosai. Yeah, I'm not kidding. My dad loves everything Asian.
Wow.
He just, he'll tell me like, hey, I'm watching Suits right now. Suits, like the show Suits. So I guess there's an Asian version of it, a Korean or something like that. And he just sits there, and if I log into his Netflix account is fuck, I forgot. But anyways, we got like a name for him on his Netflix. But if I just pull it up, all the suggestions
are all
Asian movies.
Wow, that's incredible. That's hilarious,
dude.
Did he watch like Squid Game and stuff like that?
Yeah,
and
like Squid Game, and he likes all like the samurai movies.
Oh, okay,
yeah, I all.
He likes the culture aspect. Probably
he appreciates the culture.
Yeah,
he's like, man, they're so fascinating. Like you know, the way he just tells me certain like things that he learns.
Yeah.
And I was telling Anika one time, I'm like, dude, my dad's into anime. He fucking sits there and watches anime shit, and. Not even, he goes, I've watched the shows with dubbed in English.
Yeah, and it's off.
He's like, it's not the same.
Yeah, that's how I had to watch Squid Game. I had to watch Squid Game. One of my buddies was telling me because I wanted to start it and I kind of put it off, and I wanted to watch it with my wife, but she was like, I think it's just too much for me, and I was like, okay. Finally talked her into it. So then we're watching it, and I started it, and I did it with the American overdubs, right? English overdubs. And it was pretty bad. And my buddy was like, no, that's not the way you got to do it. You got to put it on like original, I think it's Korean. You know, you got to watch it with the original Korean dialect, but watch it with English subtitles. He goes, that's the way to do it. Because like again, like the nuances of the language and what they're saying goes more in alignment like with their actions versus English. And it was totally different. It's like two different shows almost like and it's kind of fascinating how that is. So I hear that into what your dad's saying, you
I
know, when
just
you
fucking
watch
hate
something.
reading subtitles, bro. So I won't
Yeah.
watch them.
Yeah?
No, fuck that.
Yeah?
I won't watch them. If it is a dub, so if it's a dubbed show,
Mm-hmm.
I won't watch it
Yeah.
because I'm like, might as well just watch something in English. What the fuck
Mm-hmm.
am I watching these guys like? Yeah,
Yeah.
the fuck. The
You're all that was 30 seconds just for you to say yeah.
you
I
know
know something's lost in translation there.
something, bro. And then when you're reading it, and the thing is, it's also Spanish too, by the way.
Okay.
So Mexican Spanish, because we live in Southern California,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. I
Yeah.
understand Mexican Spanish.
Yeah, it's
I
slang
understand.
in and of itself too, right?
Yeah, but understanding fucking Argentinian
That's
or
different.
understanding Spanish from Spain,
Yeah.
what I lose is the context.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm like, they'll say something, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I know what you're saying. It's not like
That
I'm
sounds weird.
well, not the sound. It's like I don't get the joke.
Oh.
You just made a joke. I don't get it. Why was that funny?
Hmm.
Um, it's not fucking funny, but it is funny. Like, maybe my parents get it because again, they've maybe have been around more people from those countries. So I can
Sure.
understand like from Mexico, you know, down to like South America, tip of South America. But then once you start getting into like Argentina becomes tough,
Mhm.
Chile becomes tough.
Yeah.
Um, and again, they're using the same language. It's the same fucking language. It's just
Mhm.
nuances in things that they may find humorous.
Right. Right.
I'm like,
Right.
I don't. So, anyways, yeah, the Asian stuff. The only time I'll watch it is if my dad wants to watch some shit, because I'm not reading all that, all those subtitles, bro. Like,
Yeah.
nah. You know
Yeah.
which one's a good movie? That won a lot of awards. That was dubbed. That was, I think, was dubbed properly.
A
Is
Parasite?
All Is Quiet on the Western Front.
All is Quiet on the Western Front. I don't think I saw that. It's a war movie.
The
I know
war
what it
movie on
looks like.
Netflix.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh, the one where they're not German. They are I think they're like Belgian or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that. That was an intense movie.
That's a fucking dope
Yeah,
movie,
that was
dude.
intense, man. That was it was really good. It was done really well. That was something though, like if you want to watch like a little bit more of a heavy kind of true story war movie, it's like not for the squeamish at
It,
all, at all. And like
it's just heartbreak.
they get pretty into it, man.
It's heartbreak.
It really is. It's tough to watch.
And that one was a good one where I watched it in English
Mm-hmm.
and it was done well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
I watched that one with subtitles.
you did.
I
You
did. I
fucking
watched it
weirdo.
with subtitles. It is hard to read though. I admit to that.
Like,
It is. Yeah.
like you're trying to
Yeah.
read it so fast.
And that movie does have fast scenes in it
Mhm.
to where it's like you're reading it, but then you're looking, you're reading, you're looking, you kind of do that whole thing.
Yeah.
I get it.
So did the bat bite you?
Did not bite me, man. But so the story goes like this, man. We're kind of coming towards the end of the trip, and this bat is hanging out, on this ledge in this
How
corner.
hold on, how was it? So you arrived there in Kenya,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Paint that picture for me. Like, what does it look like? What does it like sound like? Like, is it like a small airport, big airport? Is it like a dirt
Mhm.
field? Like, how was that?
Yeah, so I mean the flight to get over there was pretty long. So I think total travel time was right around like 20 hours.
On a plane?
Yeah. Well, we flew into Turkey. We had like a
Oh,
2 or 3 hour layover. Then we flew into Kenya, into Nairobi, which is the capital. Um, if you've traveled enough, you kind of start to know like what third world is going to be like, and people that have lesser means. Um, so we landed early in the morning. I want to say it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. So by the time we got off the airplane, getting through customs took like forever. It took like an hour and a half. And then, so we didn't get out of there till like 5 o'clock in the morning. We're trying to acclimate. We find our driver. Then they have these like porter guys that are trying to like, take your bags and trying to help you. But, when you're in a country like that, you got to keep your stuff tight, super wired-tight, right? Everything on you, everything locked down. You don't give anything up because you don't know who they are. So going through that, get on this bus that they had coordinating for us and stuff like that, and then they drove us to the place that we were staying. And then
Is it a big city?
it is a big city. Africa as a whole does have that like red dirt. At least Kenya does in certain parts, red dirt, and it's pretty fascinating because the red dirt with, green trees. And it's not like super tropical, but it has that feel, kind of like a subtropical feel. But again, you drive and then you get on the bus and you're driving through these places at night and you see people and you're like, I know where I'm at. So there's gonna be an element of culture shock. If you traveled enough in those settings, you're gonna be fine. But if you've never done that, it's gonna be like, whoa, where am I?
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, I need to not be here.
Is it dirt roads or is it paved roads?
Paved roads.
Okay.
Paved roads, yeah. So it's a pretty developed country. Now, I mean,
I know I sound super ignorant, but I'm honestly
no,
curious.
no. They're all valid questions. The same questions I had before I went. Because you don't know what you're getting into, right?
Yeah.
I've never been to Kenya before, so it's a lot of that. So paved roads, it has a decent infrastructure. Nothing too crazy. It's comfortable, but it's just a different culture, different way of life. And
Cars on the road, new or older?
combination.
Okay.
In Nairobi, there have a good amount of people that do business there that are from other countries. So you'll see like Indian, you'll see Arabic Muslim people too. You'll see even some Asians, and then you'll see white people or Western culture people as well. That'll be traveling through there because one of the big tourist things for Kenya is the safaris. So like going on a safari, seeing an actual like what we consider a national park would be like a safari park for them. So people go over there and they travel to see that, which is fascinating in and of itself because they are huge, but they're actually kind of relatively close to like civilized cities. So you're like, whoa, like this is kind of crazy. Like if that line got out, like type of a thing. But yeah, no, it's a great culture in and of itself. Very kind. So yeah, there's that. So back to the bat story. Bats hanging out in like the corner and stuff like that. So it kind of got in my mind of like, what would I do to like defend myself against a bat? Because I never had to do that. It's not like a bug, right? It's not like a big beetle, that's over here, that we would consider big. And that's where I'm going with this story. Is the next day we're traveling and we go to this other place. We go to this other hotel that we're staying in. We're getting ready to go on our safari at the end of our trip. So it's nighttime, and we're staying at this hostel. And Kenya was occupied by England for a certain time, so it has the infrastructure of like developed English buildings. So we were staying at this hostel, which was a hotel. I mean, but back in the day was like a hospital. So it has like a really weird vibe. So it's old. It's not like dilapidated. It's just old. And like behind.
What's the name of the hostel?
Oh man, I think it's called the Milo or something like that.
Or was it the Hotel Rwanda? Or...
No, dude. Like you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
because
it's
like you're one of those like missionaries that goes out there to help people, and then all of a sudden, what the fuck? Jacob's on the news.
Yeah,
like
you have to be ready for a lot.
Do they prepare you for that, like the church, or
absolutely? You go
intensive gas training.
No, so you kind of have to mentally prepare yourself, and the preparation is probably about 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're meeting with your group and your team 6 months prior to you leaving, and you're fleshing all that stuff out. And typically the people that are leading the team have been there before. So they're really prepping you for what it is you're going to be doing, what you're possibly going to see, cultural dynamics, personal dynamics, for example, like our sense of humor is very different than theirs.
No, our sense of humor is very different than a lot of people.
That's true.
Because whoever's watching this, they're like, what the fuck? Cancel these motherfuckers. And we're like,
They
no,
probably
hold
will.
on, we're
They
kidding.
probably
Like,
will.
we're just having fun. But yeah. Humor is big, right?
It's different than to them, So, there's a lot. There's a lot that hits you in that. So we're going on this trip, man, and we're towards the end of it. Everybody's kind of flooded emotionally, physically. You've been going for,
How long were you
12
there?
hours, 14 hours straight, huh?
How long were you there for?
About 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're on about, I want to say like day 10, day 11. So again, we're leaving this place, and I see the bat at night. I go to sleep. And then the next day we're traveling. We travel to the hostel, and it has like really high walls. I want to say like 15, 20-foot walls, and they're like old brick, type of thing with barbed wire at the top and everything because they're trying to keep people safe. But there's like at the back of the hotel or house where we were staying, there's like this graveyard. So it's already creepy. Yeah,
What?
dude. Yeah. This is the stuff that, yeah, there's like this graveyard. So like
So you're sleeping next to a cemetery?
yeah. I'm telling you, it was a hospital at the time.
Next to a safari?
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, there's all this stuff. Have you ever seen the movie Apocalypse Now?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like that. Like like when it's humid and you're just like, what the heck is this type of like, what am I watching? It has those elements to it. And I remember walking out like in toward our window where you can see like the graveyard because it was towards the back of our room where we were staying. And I was like, I feel like I'm in apocalypse now. Like, I feel like it. I was like, like, where's the gun? Like, we're going to war type of
You don't
thing.
have you're not allowed to carry guns or weapons on you?
No, it's outlawed there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's outlawed there. No, granted,
You got a knife on you?
No, we can't take
What?
any weapons.
Nothing?
No.
Fucking slaps? Like,
Yeah.
that's all you got?
I mean, you're traveling with security technically.
Okay.
So like
They have weapons?
I'm sure they have stuff.
Okay.
Whether it's disclosed or undisclosed.
No. Honestly, dude, I'm serious because again, like, me traveling to El Salvador or another country, like, it's I'd want to be protected. I'm maybe a little bit paranoid, but at the very least, like you gotta have a knife on you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But if it's outlawed in those countries or if it's outlawed there, then what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's very much that.
Say a prayer.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah,
That's crazy, dude.
You're going on there a lot of faith. And you're putting your trust again. If you're a faith believing person, you believe in God, you're putting a lot of trust in that, and that's an important part of it. So yeah, I mean, we're everything is safe. You're put with people and that are local to that place, and they keep you as safe as possible. And the local cultures want to protect you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be somebody here, like for example, if you saw somebody that came here from, I don't know, India, and they don't speak the language, and you see somebody harassing them, that's a local, you'd be like, hey, what's wrong with you? Like, don't do that. That's not what we do here. It's their same thing, there. That doesn't change. That's pretty much found across the world. But nonetheless, see this Batman. So we're staying at this place and we're going to go eat. And we're eating there at the hotel, and they have this buffet line. But the buffet line is outside kind of the building. They kind of have like these French doors that opened up, one side, and they have French doors that open up on the other side. You know where this story's going. So we let there's women on our trip, so we let them go first. The guys are hanging out in the back. I'm just hanging out with a couple of my friends and just talking and stuff. And it's very dark out there, so like you can't even see the wall. And the wall's probably like 30, 40 feet away from where we're at. But because there's not a lot of light, it's just dark. And so where we were at, because we were outside, the building light was kind of the thing that was illuminating everything. And the sun just kind of went down, and we're kind of again doing everything, but it's pitch black out there. And then I'm talking
street lights?
Kind of, but really dim.
Yeah.
So like not like how we have it here. They're LEDs. Put it that way. So like kind of how we're talking, I'm having a conversation with one of the leaders, and I'm just chatting and stuff, and I see something kind of catch the corner of my eyes, but it's far away, at least in my relativity perspective, right? So I'm like, oh, it's like 15, 10 feet away type of thing. I'm not thinking anything of it. It just kind of looks like this thing just kind of going like that, like whatever. And then sure enough, like I keep talking and I kind of look this way and I look back and it's kind of starting to come closer. But the guy that I'm talking to does not see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just see it. But I'm not really like paying that much attention to it. Then it really starts to come close, kind of like behind you where it would be.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what the heck is that? And it's just like this thing that's doing this, but it's coming at me like really fast. Dude, and the first thing came into my mind, I was like, shoot, that's a bat, man. Like that has to be a bat. Like I've never seen anything fly like that. That has to be a bat because it was again ingrained in my mind. You see this batting and dude, the thing like I'm like, what the heck? It like comes like right here. And I'm like, what the heck
Really?
is that? Yeah, dude. And it like comes like right here. So like all I have is this plate. And dude, it's like one of those heavy plates, dude. Like not like a cheap ceramic plate, like a freaking ceramic plate that weighs like 10, 15 pounds. So I like kind of like swat it, dude, and everybody leaves me. Like
They get away
they
from you.
they just like bounce, bro. Like all the girls leave me, everybody's just leaving me, and the guys are just laughing at me because they're just like, dude, yeah, I went like that, and when I did that, I kind of like when it flew right in front of me, I whacked it kind of, but then what happened? It like tumbled and it landed on me, bro.
That would have freaked me out,
Dude.
so much.
Okay, so it wasn't a bat. Okay, check this
What?
out. Yeah, check this out.
What the fuck?
Check this out. So now it's like on me, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, dude, this bat is gonna bite me. I'm like whacking it with this thing, and then sure enough, I get it with the plate, and I whack it to the ground, and it goes on the ground. It makes a thud, like boom.
Yeah.
The hand's on the ground. I'm like, holy crap! Like, what the heck, dude? Everybody's losing their mind, dude. Like losing their mind, dude. It was like a beetle, like this big, dude, on
What?
the ground. Yeah, man. Yeah. I have a picture of it. Yeah.
Really?
I'm serious, bro. I'm serious, man.
What the
Dude, it was huge. Like the body of it was probably like this big. And then like with the legs and like with the little antenna thingies was huge, bro. Yeah, it was on me, man. The freaking got it off of me. We took a picture of it, and then like the workers are laughing at me. My buddies are laughing at me, and the girls are terrified inside. They're just like, Jake's gone. He's never coming back.
He got bit.
He got bit. Like this is the end of the trip. This is how we all go out. Type of thing.
Wow.
Then they get like a broom and they swish it into
Did
like
they
this
tell you what kind of
field.
beetle it was?
Oh no,
No,
bro.
no name?
No, I was so terrified. Dude, I was so scared out of my mind because
You're gonna die.
dude, like like in that moment you're kind of again you have those like fight or flight, things, so you have adrenaline going through your body,
Yeah.
bro. And you're already tensed up, because you're in a different setting and something huge like that comes. I'm just glad it wasn't a bat. Because I thought, homeboy, to your vampire story, I thought I was gonna become a vampire. Like, man, like I'm coming back, I'm gonna be different. Like, this is it. Like,
Damn. Yeah, there's different animals, man.
yeah,
Especially in fucking, obviously, near the safari area.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're in Africa. It's like animals are different. That's crazy.
Big time, man. Like, and that was like one
I
of
want
the
to see a
most.
picture.
I'll have to show it to you,
send it
man,
to
and I'll
me.
show it to you, man. It was like one of like the big bugs we encountered was me. And it was funny because like our team leader prefaced it because he went a couple years earlier and he's like, somebody's gonna get attacked by a bug. Just
really?
He's like, just keep that in mind. He goes, maybe not like attacked, but like you're gonna get a bug on you and it's gonna be somebody. He goes, for example, it happens every year. He goes, well, the last time we were in Kenya, we're going on the safari and the bus got stuck that they were on. So they get out of where they're at and they're trying to free up the bus, right? And so there's this girl to the back of the bus and there's like a bush right here. And then like as she was moving, she kind of like brushed the bush.
Yeah.
And again, like it's so dense, like you don't really see, like everything blends in.
Yeah.
So like she does this, and then sure enough, as she comes back, there's this giant blue tarantula on her.
Oh, dude, I got the chills right now, man. Like,
yeah, man. And she was flipping out, dude. Giant blue tarantula on her. I got the beetle. It's the whole vibe, man.
You got the blue beetle, man. It gives me the fucking chills, dude. It's you know how as a kid don't know if you did this. I mean, you probably still do it now. Like when you got to turn off the hallway light
Oh,
or turn off the light downstairs, like, and then you run
yeah.
because then it gives me the fucking chills,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like bugs, tiny bugs, like maybe not a big deal, but
Mm-hmm.
tarantulas and even like snakes, it's like fuck, man, and then you don't see them, you know what I'm saying, and that shit landing on your chest, that would have freaked me out even more.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
feels like, you know how when you I don't know, maybe take a cold shower or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like when cold water hits you like
Yeah. You
that.
get like shock. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's gnarly, man.
that yeah, or leeches. I
Oh
like to
yeah.
think
I
about
could never do
leeches.
that. No. Yeah.
Um,
Water stuff doesn't bother me. Like like open water definitely messes with your psyche if you've never experienced it, seeing or unseen, right? If you can see down or if you can't see down, I think those are just experiences, man. But water stuff is pretty freaky because
yeah,
that is not our element, and if it is, it's like very very sporadic, like you don't spend every single day. Well, I don't know, maybe you do you go to the ocean and just kind of swim
yeah. I just
around?
hang out with seaweed.
Yeah, hang around with the
Just
seals and stuff like that.
wrap myself around in it. No, see, but even like that, like if you're in the ocean and you
Yeah.
feel seaweed touch you,
Oh yeah, big time. People freak out.
I
People
just
freak out.
freak out.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck it is.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so you were out there for 2 weeks.
yeah.
Aside from getting attacked from a bug,
hmm
you had a good time.
I loved it, man. I loved it. It came at the right time for me, and my in what I was going through, and me and my wife went, so there was a chance that we weren't going to go, and it was, I think, like a month and a half too. We were like, I still think we need to go, and so we went, and it was great. It was very life giving. Um,
You do it
again,
again?
absolutely. I think I would. There's a lot of self reflection that happens. You're put in a situation. It's not normal. You don't have your routines. You're there to serve people. You're thrusted into their situation of whatever that is, and then you're trying to find where my place is supposed to be in this whole thing. You don't know. You don't know who you're going to meet, and none of that stuff is planned. So again, there's the God element is definitely evident, in all those situations, and it's extremely life-giving, and it breaks down a lot of stuff in you if you allow it to. There's people that go over there that don't, obviously, and they think it's a vacation, and it's very much not that. So I would definitely do it again, and so it's a great place. Again, us in America, we have these notions of other countries that, granted, there's danger everywhere. Like, no, granted, can you can you mitigate that risk to a certain degree? Sure, but we're very very fortunate for what we have. There's stuff that you're going to see and experience that are going to shake you and your understanding of probably even reality, and it's if you allow that to be something and part of your journey, it's a very good thing in my opinion.
It's I think what the only other country I've been to has been Mexico, right?
hmm
And even there, it's a different way of life.
hmm
It's usually a slower way of life.
hmm
It's usually um, maybe more connections,
hmm
um, more conversations with people,
hmm
and I mean, it's just appreciation of what we get to have here,
Absolutely.
right? We get, like the lights are on,
Yeah.
nice and bright, and we're fucking freezing in here,
Yeah, it's
right? The
AC
AC's
and
on blast.
it's raining
Um,
outside a little bit, but it's not leaking in here. It's like it's comfortable. The doors are locked. It's like, and they're
it's safe.
sturdy.
Yeah, it's safe and it's not grandiose, right? But it's like other people don't have this
Mm-mm,
at all.
mm-mm.
Other people, are sleeping on dirt floors.
That's right.
right?
That's
They're
right.
heating up their water,
Mm-hmm.
right? To or they're, with like little wood burning, like actual something that's like wood burning in these countries. And so it provides a proper perspective, I think, that a lot of times, sometimes people get away from understanding what's really important and focus on the materialistic things.
Oh yeah, dude. That's tough, man.
So,
It's tough.
like I've always said, I'm not a big like material person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't buy fancy watches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just, I'm down with Levi, or I may not even say Levi's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with a pair of jeans,
Mm-hmm.
white t-shirt, and my boots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking for like the Louis Vuitton belt. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking for the Louis Vuitton shoes, the red bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I saw someone the other day said, this creator, or this, he's not a creator, he's a business owner actually, said that the most expensive tank top he's bought was, I don't know, a couple $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said because he used to work at the Louis Vuitton store,
Mm-hmm.
and that he would always see people walk in, walk out with bags, and he was security, and he said one day I'll be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I had the money, I think, which I mean, I could buy $1,000 shirt,
Mm-hmm.
but why the fuck would I?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you compensating for? In
Mm-hmm.
my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not compensating and that's something you just like because you
Mm-hmm.
like that is a gift to yourself, great, fine. But I don't need that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with uh, a bedroom
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
because when you go to those countries and you just stay in a bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
like a little place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's say you go to the beach, right? So then it's a
Mm-hmm.
little place and you heat up your water, you start figuring out that, man, I don't need much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a lot.
Yeah.
I need very little.
Yeah. Well, we talk. I think in this country, you talk a lot about. You hear a lot of people talk about stress. Regardless of the economic environment. Whether it's something we're facing right now, or we have, or we're going to face in the future. But how much of those stresses are self-imposed? You know, um, you can be grateful for a lot here. In this country, it's just what's influencing your decisions. What's your precedence for the thing and your priority and what you should be doing. Delineating that from reality and creating, hey, what should I really be doing? It's something, again, it goes back to like, well, what are you putting in your mind? Are these your own ideas, or are these somebody else's ideas and you're taking them as factual and you're believing them as truths, and they're just found as random thoughts? I know we're kind of going down the rabbit hole a little bit, but no, when you go to these countries, and we were in a town. It was called Kamaninya. It's pretty remote. It's kind of close to the border of Rwanda, I want to say. Or sorry, my mind is kind of jogging me a little bit right now. But we're out there. They grow coffee beans out there a lot, and pretty remote. And we're like, hey, let's just go and visit some of these people, that live in this community, and they don't have much. Their house is big as this room, or maybe a couple of these rooms, maybe two as whole, and they have like a little farm, and they live off the land and stuff, and you're just like, hey, this is who you are, and just wanted to talk to you, and if there's anything we can pray for you with, and they'll invite you in, literally into their home, and you're sitting, and they're just honored that you would take the time, out of your day just to sit with them and talk to them, and in our culture, it's like if somebody came up to you and be like, hey, just want to check on you.
I
We
mean,
don't
get the
even,
fuck out of
I
here.
mean, yeah, but think about it like this, like how many neighbors have been in your living room?
Zero.
Exactly. They don't live that way, but there could be a lot of life that could be had there. Like we talk about being in community, and like nobody gets me, and I have all these things wrong with me, and it's like, well, that's because you don't really allow people to enter into who you are, because you have these egos, you have this pride, you have these ideologies that are built up. Again, who are you? It's like we get to have these conversations, but we've had these conversations many times. This is not the first one, it's not gonna be the last one. And you just got to be willing to be open, and we don't know everything, like when we were talking the other day too, like you got to keep learning, You never just be like, tap out, I got it. I mastered it. There's no such thing. Um, and so going back to the original point, man, it's getting outside your box, allowing yourself to experience different things, allowing yourself to be challenged, allowing yourself to be challenged in the things that you have built up in your mind. We talk even, for example, about church. Um, like Western American church in and of itself looks different than the world church, than the Christian church in Kenya, how they do church, and that's a big thing right now too. If you ever study things like that, you ever study religions, they all look differently, but again, you got to have some fundamental truths, to what that looks like for you, in my opinion. And but it shouldn't be founded upon somebody else's thoughts, in my opinion. It has to be founded on something that you truly are convicted of, and independency, in my opinion, is not something that's new. It's something that you're born with. You're born independent. Now, you have to become an adult, and then that changes things, then you have ramifications for your actions. But I don't see how half of the things that we deal with in America are really things that are that much that we should be screaming about and attacking each other over. When it's like, dude, there's so many other things that we need to be figuring out, that people look to America with this esteem, right? And there is a thing called the American dream, but you're only ever going to understand the American dream unless you understand how people look at that, because everything else, you're just going to take it for granted.
Great points, my friend. And I think people focus on the trivial shit, the most insignificant fucking things.
Yeah.
And people are freaking out. People always ask me, hey, did you see what happened in this place?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you see what happened in this place?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you see what happened in Texas or
Mm-hmm.
New York? I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live in fucking New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see what happened in San Francisco? It's
Mm-hmm.
local.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I saw what happened in my life today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I got to get up. I got to eat. I am very sad that I'm going to die. Like, think about death often. And I think someone's like, oh, well, you're going to miss your family, or, is it because of that? And I said, no, man, all the beauty I won't get to see that I get to see every day. They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, the trees, the flowers, all that, I don't know, corny shit.
It's not corny.
But, I'm making fun of myself. I have to.
I get you.
I can't be a cool by being so fucking corny, right? So yesterday I was outside. I was, on the bench in the back, and I just lay down, right? So I lay down on I not just yesterday, but I do it all the time. And I'm just looking up, like as if it was like my own little, picnic, just like looking up at the tree. It's like a pine tree, I think it is, right? I'm like, man, in my mind, these are the corny thoughts I had. And I'm like, man, this is such a beautiful tree. I'm like, what's up, tree? I even said it out loud. I'm like, I hope you're having a good day. I'm by myself, fucking the other offices are probably looking at me like, what the fuck is this weirdo always out there talking to that tree? But those little things make me happy. Those little things of, yesterday it was raining, right? Or sprinkling, kind of like it is right now. And I could see the clouds coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the clouds. I'm looking at the tree. I'm feeling the wind. And I'm just in that moment experiencing that is something that I'm going to miss. Something that's why I don't want to die. Like I won't be able to experience life anymore. These tiny little moments. I won't be able to have them. And so I'm constantly in a attitude of gratitude, appreciating what I have, what little I have, what lots I have in other areas. I was sitting with R yesterday, and we were talking about how do you get out of a funk, and I said, well, attitude of gratitude, like, what I have.
Yeah.
What I have, focus on, what I don't have, like, bad things in my life. Uh, seeing things logically, then attach an emotion to it, and then like the ultimate thing would be is change my physical state.
Sure.
If you change your physical state, like your emotions can follow afterwards.
Yeah.
But so many people again are focusing, I think, on the wrong thing. I don't care what the fuck Pete Davidson is doing. I don't give a fuck what Kanye said.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do I care?
Yeah.
What they said, what they believe, and their opinion, and not in a bad way, because they are special in their own way with their own people.
Right.
But I don't need to be bombarded by it. I don't care what's happening with Trump. Like, I don't care what's happening with Biden, with Mitch McConnell, with his,
when he froze up.
Yeah. It's like, hey, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? Like, dick. Does it affect my life?
Yeah.
Does it affect my relationships? So, one of the things you said was how these people would invite you in, right? That it doesn't happen here. My dad has always said that about people in El Salvador, that they're very humble. They come from low means, but they are the ones to embrace you. Because again, their perspective is different. Their appreciation of life is different. I go to the 7-Eleven. I talk about the 7-Eleven quite often.
Okay.
The one right here on the corner. And so recently, there's been this dude out there selling cookies. I'm not kidding. Okay, like there's this dude holding the door. It's like, oh man, you want some cookies? I'm like, no, I don't fucking ever carry cash. So, I think it was the second or third time I saw him. I asked the guy at the register, I'm like, yo, do you get cash back? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, like, give me, whatever the max is. So he's like, oh, it's $10. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was walking out, and I could see the guy kind of judging me that I'm telling him no every time that I'm coming in, because I don't want fucking cookies. Like, I just don't. And then plus I don't have cash. So I said, hey man, here's some cash. And he tried to give me the cookies. I said, no, bro, just keep the cash. Like, I hope you sell them all. He's like, no, bro. He's like, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel bad. Take some. I said, all right, I'll take some. So then at night, well, as I'm leaving, I'm like, yo, I was like, did you make these? And he's like, yeah, I made them. I'm like, they better be fucking good. He's like, they are. He's like, I promise they're good.
Yeah.
So I got, I don't know, it was maybe 2 cookies. I gave him $10. He had a tray full.
Yeah.
It's fucking hot. Bro, it's been fucking ridiculously hot.
Yeah, it has been.
It's like probably like 105, and he's out there.
Yeah.
He's opening the door for people.
Yeah.
So he's trying. That's why I want to just, hey man, fucking sell it.
Yeah.
But at night, I found myself thinking, what the fuck is in these cookies?
Sure.
Right? Like my thoughts started to go into,
are they special cookies?
Are they special cookies?
Yeah.
Is he doing it with ill intent? Did he use did he get his food handler's permit?
Sure.
Like
you're going down the line.
No, I'm fucking not kidding,
what's
because
the name of his LLC DBA?
Exactly. Did this motherfucker fuck with these? And am I gonna end up in the hospital for food poisoning?
Yeah.
Because I'm buying fucking cookies from a dude in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And then, so as I'm having these thoughts, I immediately stopped and said, but I'm fucking willing to buy a hot dog from a lady in LA that obviously is not, adhering to all the safety and health code standards. I'm like, and that's not fair. Yeah. It's a matter of perspective.
That's right.
And then I thought the same thing about, like, so to your point about being invited by another person from another country, they were more, my dad would say acojadoras, like more inviting. The same thing would happen in El Salvador, because there you have, it's like farmers markets, but farmers markets that are just that fucking is the market, where all your food, you're picking it up from the street. There are no fucking grocery stores in some areas. And, we go to TJ, get some fucking tacos. How do I know it's not fucking dog?
Yeah.
So why am I willing to go to another country and buy from the street, and I'm over here judging this guy that's trying to sell me some fucking cookies
Yeah.
in front of a 7-Eleven.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's not fucking right. I'm gonna eat the fucking cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't. And I just gave them to my dad. So
did your dad like the cookies?
I don't know, I didn't have to. But he kept fucking picking at like some food that I took to him. But so as I was going to my pop's house, I had some pan dulce from Mr. Biggs from House Party in the 90s. He brought me pan dulce, so I took it to them. So I had the cookies.
Yeah.
I had a pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad wanted pupusas.
Okay.
So I'm taking all this fucking food to go see him.
Yeah.
And as I'm driving to go pick up the pupusas, I saw this dude. I guess you could call him homeless.
Okay.
You know, he was homeless. He's walking in the parking lot of where the food was, and I'm thinking, man, I got all this food,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm picking up more food. So I just told him, it's like, hey, man, I was like, and part of the thing is sometimes like when I give people like food or shit like that, I want to ask them, like, hey, man, are you hungry? Because I just don't want to be like, hey, here's food.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck? What are you giving me food for?
Yeah.
You know, so I asked him, like, hey, man, are you hungry? He goes, like, yeah, I actually am. I was like, all right, hold on. Like, come meet me right here. So I just grabbed the whole pizza and I gave it to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you want some cookies? Because I had the cookies. He's like, no, I'm good with the pizza. I was like, do you want pan dulce? And he looked at it. He's like, no, I'm good. I was like, well, are you thirsty? And because he was walking around with an empty water bottle. And again, mind you, this is when it was 100 and I think it was 108 that day. Because I remember 108, between 108 and 113. Because I remember 113 is what my car said. Because I recorded a fucking story.
Yeah.
So I know the guy's fucking hot.
Yeah.
You know, and so I just went into the store. I got him a couple bottled waters, very respectful. He wasn't high. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't smelly. He was just homeless.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after I picked up my food, I was driving down the street. I could see him, dude. He was sitting on this wall with the pizza box and the water, and he had a blanket thrown over him because it was just fucking hot.
Yeah.
And he was just eating. And I think for us in everyday life, as long as you're counting your blessings, again, it's easier said than done, but counting your blessings, changing your perspective, seeing things for what they are, than seeing them better than what they are, being of service to others can allow you to live a happier life and not focus on the insignificant, trivial things. Like as you were saying earlier, like to your point, it's like I don't know what you're focusing on. Like what's important to you versus like external forces affecting your life. Right?
Yeah.
I think you, since I've known you, you're just not that guy. You're pretty jolly. Like you're not annoying jolly, right? You're just not like a fucking annoying guy.
Yeah.
But you're your perspective, your outlook. It's never I never hear from you. I've never heard from you. Fuck, bro. Like all this shit's going to fucking hell. The world is fucking falling apart. Fucking Biden this, Trump that.
I'll never do it.
Yeah, that's just not you.
No.
And there's some friends.
No.
I'm just like, bro, what the fuck are you watching? Like, and didn't you see this story on this social media site? And I'm like, no, I honestly, I manage very closely the information I allow in. I'm not saying I'm oblivious to everything else. I know what's going on.
Sure.
But I don't want that shit like eating up at me. And you've never been that guy. You're always fucking just like, hey, what's up, man? Like, you know, you live life.
Yeah, I acknowledge it to your point too. But I filter a lot of stuff that comes in, you know, and I don't yeah, man, I try not to let it affect me, you know, because there's enough worries in the day. I can't control people. I can't control what they do. External factors. You know, I can vote for who I vote for. I can have a voice in it when it's called upon, but at the end of the day, man, we're just, to your point, you got to count your blessings, because you don't, as my mom, as she was going through, her treatment and stuff, and it lasted a couple of years, when it was difficult. And, one of the things I would tell her, it's like, we don't know when our day is going to come. I can get in a car accident tomorrow and be gone. All we have is today. And she would feel fine. She'd be like, I would ask her, be like, do you feel okay? She'd be like, yeah, I feel good. And, and um, then that's what matters, because we can't control what happens in our body. We can to a certain extent, but there's a lot of stuff we can't. And we can't control what happens tomorrow. We can't control what happened in the past. What we can control is right now. And if you feel fine, then take that as a blessing in and of itself, and take the day for what it's worth, and be appreciative of that. Because like I said, like I could be gone tomorrow and I'm perfectly healthy, I'm fine, but it's about, for example, to your other point, taking the time moment and to appreciate the day. Like when I travel with my wife, we do it now when we travel too, but specifically when we travel, I try to make it a point to catch a sunset or catch a sunrise.
Yeah, I see
And
those stories.
yeah, man, there's something about that where the day opens or the day closes, and it allows you to reflect and just to slow down just enough to where it's like, wow, like I'm a very small person, in a very big world, in a very big place that is space in and of itself. And I get to observe this beauty right now. And that's a really cool thing with somebody that I love, or strangers even, that's like, wow, we're sharing this moment together, and this won't happen again. But this is okay for me. And I love that. Yeah.
I like that, man. Well, thank you for coming out. I want to be mindful of your time.
No, you're good.
It's Saturday, it's Labor Day weekend. I know you'd rather be outside wearing your thong.
Yes,
I know you have it under there.
I do.
I could see the little lines coming
I
through.
do. I do. I also have the stockings.
Um, really quickly on the business side,
Mhm.
if someone like, would someone find you, or you guys like, well, consumer direct or more business direct? It sounds like it's always more business direct. Like if
We
someone wanted to find you guys.
we do both. So the company is Speedworks. We're an aviation firm. So like our pitch, is we partner with aircraft owners to help them operate their aircraft, specifically large cabin private jets. We do have Instagram. We do have LinkedIn as well. So we do have some presence, mainly our website. Again, we're a niche in a niche, but at the same time, though, we do consult. A lot of the times to chart operators and repair stations. So we have a depth knowledge of what we do. Our team is pretty large. Our network is significantly larger. So we have, global operations is not something out of our means, for example. That's something that we can handle and that we do on a daily basis. To that being said, though, we are always open to conversations. It doesn't have to be a money thing for us. It's providing value. Um, that's what I believed in. That's what's made us successful so far, is providing value to clients, even if there's not a transaction of money, because there are things that could change inherently a person's trajectory in their career and their business and their path or whatever they're trying to accomplish. So it's making sure that you make yourself available for that. Then the money will come, So yeah, we do have that stuff. So it's all Speedworks Aviation. That's how you'll find us most of the
I'm
time.
gonna slide into Speedworks Aviation's DMs. I want to be sponsored by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they can get me a flight over to Kenya and make it a 2 hour flight and not the fucking 28
That'd be defined.
hour flight.
That'd be defined time, but never say never. They're working on supersonic technology as we speak, so we'll see if it goes.
Well, I want to honestly say, man, thank you
Mhm.
for coming on. Again, I value your friendship.
Yeah, me too, man.
I value the artistic take and look and compliments, appreciation,
Mm,
and recommendations that you've provided for
mhm.
me throughout the years.
Yeah.
Um, you should really stop trying to be French and appreciate your Hispanic heritage. So yeah, that whole French thing.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I appreciate it, man, and I really do appreciate our friendship, and we've gone through some up and downs,
Yeah.
together. I have I have I have learned from you in the shortest amount of time some of those key components of business. I really have. I've observed them in you. I've seen your professionalism, and I always say this is because for me, I always go for the best. And you in your field are one of the best. You really, truly are. And any person that gets to work with you is truly, truly blessed because it's not transactional in that aspect. You're really trying to do what's best for them, and give them the advice and give them the opportunity to do what they feel they need to do, whatever that is, right? And you do that through your business and through your career, and stuff. And I'm truly blessed to call you a friend, and again, what we've been able to do together or separately and from afar, and cheer for each other. That's what matters at the end of the day, man. So I am very blessed to call you a friend as well. And I know your business is gonna do something substantial, more than it already is, because you're already a leader in this industry and in the community and what you do and the way you give back, and you see things for not just from a commodity perspective. Right, it's not that for you. There's other things to you, and there's other things that you take your business that allow you to do that is extremely admirable. So again, if you're ever in the market, man, for a home, you gotta call this guy and listen to everything he says because he will get you going.
I thought you were gonna say if you're ever in the market for a plane, you should hire me, George. But it's
No.
I mean I went to your wedding, dude.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
went to your fucking wedding.
That's right.
And you know, uh, it's there's I'm not a I don't have a lot of friends.
hmm
It sounds weird to say,
hmm
but I don't want to say I'm proud of that. It's just it's who I am, right? I have a lot of acquaintances,
Right.
a ton of acquaintances, a lot of
Right.
people that I know, but with you, you're like a friend that obviously I don't see for many years,
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah. Sometimes we go a
Yeah.
little bit of a gap. Yeah.
Months,
Yeah.
months or years,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. It's not like we fucking like FaceTime each other every day or
No.
fucking text each other. Like it's not that,
Yeah.
but I can check in with you,
Absolutely.
and you can always check in with me, and we
Absolutely.
can pick up like right where we left off.
That's right.
And it's like that. I know I'm a bit much with my sense of humor sometimes, and the fact that you allow me to just make you laugh, you know, and it's cool, man. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's really cool, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, man. I love you, man.
Love you too, my
Yeah,
friend.
man. Onward and upwards, right?
Yeah, yeah. We'll do this again.
Absolutely.
Go follow Jacob. He posts a bunch of non-nudes on his on his Instagram account. So it's Speedworks and what else?
Speedworks is the company, and then my personal one is Jacob_A_Cuevas.
Go do it.
Yeah.
Follow
go hang
him.
out.
Slide into his DMs.
Maybe,
Psych.
maybe the next one we'll do on an airplane. That'd be pretty cool.
that'd be cool, man.
Yeah.